The iPhone lineup is a pretty diverse group. From the budget SE option all the way up to the 13 Pro Max, there is something for everyone inside of this line of phones. But after the past month, I've come to the conclusion that no kidding, the iPhone 13 Pro Max, while the most expensive, is absolutely the best option inside of that selection. So why is that, and how has it held up over the past month? Let's find out. What's up, everyone? I'm the Everyday Dad, and if I can figure it out, you can figure it out. Point of clarification before we get into the video. While Apple did let me borrow an iPhone 13 Pro Max last month, and that was the phone seen in the unboxing video, this iPhone 13 Pro Max is my personal phone that I purchased myself. I don't know if you know this, but I can even tie my own shoes sometimes. As this is a follow-up video, I won't be delving into the specs or ordering options of this phone. If you would like to see that, I'd point you towards one of my earlier videos on the topic. Today we'll be covering my refined thoughts and opinions as I've used this as my primary phone for the past, it's over a month now, right? Now, refined thoughts is the way to look at this because there haven't been any major firmware updates or problems that I've encountered. The first thing I want to talk about is the main reason why I've been using this as opposed to my iPhone 13 mini, because I actually do like the mini more than I like the Pro Max. And while the mini has perfectly usable battery life, after having the 12 mini, I just feel this irrational need to ration the battery life so much, and it's been much harder for me to break that mindset than I really thought it would be. But here in the 13 Pro Max, the battery life is amazing. It's truly impressive stuff. I routinely get through the day with 50 or 60% battery life left on the phone, and that's exactly what I need from a phone. I get that not everyone needs or wants that kind of life out of their cell phones. If you stay at home most of the time, or if you are always next to an outlet, you probably don't even care all that much about overall battery life. Me, I hate not having good battery life. One, external batteries are awful because you'll need the battery, a cable, some way to hold it. It's just a bunch of little things that add up over time. And then who wants to carry a cable around in case you need to charge something anyway? Here on the Pro Max, I just bring the phone and it lasts 2 days of regular person use. There you go. Additionally, 1 month later, I'm still at 100% battery health, which doesn't feel very surprising to me because my iPhone 12 Pro Max is still at 100% battery health after a year of use. But I guess other folks have had issues. I literally only charge my phone via the MagSafe charger installed in that little stand that I showed in my accessories video. It works great, and it has never caused issues with my battery health. The next thing I want to refine my opinion on is the Pro Motion display. I'm starting to come around to having a faster refresh rate on my phone. I know. I'm normally somebody that has been kind of critical about refresh rates on phones because normally phones that I've used in the past that have had those blazing fast screens generally have pretty terrible battery life. Look at the Samsung Z Flip 3 from earlier this year. I really like that phone. The display is gorgeous and I like how versatile the phone itself is, but the battery life, it's not great. You use enough bad battery life devices that sell themselves on their display, and you start to equate those two things together. I can already hear some folks typing in the comments saying that I'm only saying that Apple is doing this and they're the only ones that can do this well. But honestly, you were going to be mad no matter what I said. Here, this is probably the best of both worlds. You will get the 120Hz refresh rate display that can go up to 1000 nits of sustained brightness, and I do think that brightness is a more important aspect, but let's finish with the refresh rate first. The refresh rate makes this phone feel so good to use because everything is just a tad smoother. That is a combination with the 120Hz, but also how smooth Apple makes the animations on the phone itself. Moving back over to brightness, I think a key part of phones, much like battery life, is the ability to actually see them under all manner of conditions. It doesn't matter how powerful the darn thing is, it doesn't matter how fast the screen refreshes if you can't actually see what's going on the screen, right? Because this goes up to 1000 nits of sustained brightness, I've been able to easily see this phone even in direct sunlight on the rare occasions when I'm not stuck inside my house working. Yes, the 1200 nits for HDR has been very cool. I personally have been trying to watch more movies in my spare time as I move away from my 60-70 hours a week in World of Warcraft. It's kind of an unhealthy obsession of mine. And while not a dedicated movie screen, this looks fantastic. The next thing that I've continued to like in a big way are the cameras. And I cannot say enough good things about the cameras on this phone. All three of them, the ultra wide, the wide, the telephoto, they're all fantastic. And they've helped me enjoy taking pictures so much more. Even when on little family trips, I'll just take more photos and I'll try to get more creative with those photos because it's like having 3 really good prime lenses with me at all times. And I have a ton of camera equipment in my house, both full frame photo cameras and smaller sensored video cameras, and I rarely take them with me because they're such a pain in the butt to carry around. When what I really want to do when I'm out with my family is be out with my family and have a good time. Sure, I would get marginally better quality or a shallower depth of field if I carried around my Lumix S5 and my 50mm 1.8, but if I do that, I'll take less photos overall and I'll worry more about carrying the camera around with me instead of just being in the day. If you didn't realize, that's why the point and shoot category for cameras is essentially dead, because phones replaced those long ago. Plus for video, the 13 Pro Max has some of the best video features too. In the past month, I've been doing all of my behind the scenes content from Twitter with this camera. I've even used quite a few shots in the videos themselves. Anytime I need a quick cutaway shot, or maybe I forgot to do a specific piece of B-roll, the 13 Pro Max is there to save the day. I haven't been using this for vlogging, because I don't vlog. Does anybody still vlog? So I haven't seen how much the cinematic mode has gotten better or worse, but I continue to really like that we can do the post-focus selection, and if mainstream quote-unquote real cameras can start doing things like this, we're gonna have to change how we even think about depth in video. Cameras though, the cameras on the 13 Pro Max are easily my favorite cameras ever, and not favorite phone cameras ever, just favorite cameras period, because they make taking pictures and video so much fun. All right, so those are the 3 things that I've continued to like about the 13 Pro Max in the past month, but there is something that I've continued to dislike, and you can't physically change this because I really don't like the weight of this phone. I know that it's only marginally heavier than the iPhone 12 Pro Max, and I'm willing to deal with this. Like I said, this is my personal phone, but I wish this was the same weight as the 12 Pro Max. This newer version is kind of uncomfortable to hold for long periods of time when I'm just trying to do traditional phone things, like I'm trying to text, type out emails, watch those movies from earlier, or try to have a phone call. Single-handedly, this phone is brutal. Like even right here, I have to keep leaning my elbow down here because it makes your arm tired. Thankfully, because this is the Pro Max, you normally have to hold it with 2 hands anyway, and that does make the weight distribution a little better, but this phone is just dense. And I know I've gotten tons of comments in the past month about needing to get stronger or me just being weak, and yeah, sure, I'm just a weak dude that doesn't even lift, bro. But it's my video talking about the things that I like and dislike, and so much of this phone is great, but sometimes using it can be a real pain in the butt. Even when I try to watch YouTube videos or movies from bed, I have to put this in my little stand because I hate holding it up to watch for long periods of time. Plus, trying to get these into a pants pocket, I've even moved over to wearing stretchy jeans because I'm almost 40. I have no one left to impress. Because I have stretchy jeans, they will fit fine, but if they were more restrictive or a tighter fit, getting this phone to go anywhere would be a huge challenge. Get it? Because the phone is really large. But at the end of the day, so what, right? Look, I could expand this video out as much as I wanted to and talk about all sorts of little nitnoid facts and rehash all of the same stuff again, but I'm not gonna do that to you today. I really like the iPhone 13 Pro Max. I've got a whole shelf of phones that I could be using at any given point, and I'm always grabbing this. It's got a beautiful screen. The battery life is incredible. The cameras are next level good, and overall, it's an amazing experience. It's not perfect, and I do wish it would go on a 5-ounce or more diet, but if that's the price I've got to pay to have all of these incredible things that we've already talked about, so be it. Do I recommend the iPhone 13 Pro Max after a month of use? Yes, absolutely. Maybe I wouldn't recommend it if you currently have the 12 Pro Max, but any older generation of iPhone or even an iPhone 12 regular, I think there is enough added to this specific phone that it's totally worth upgrading to or buying as your very first phone. But make sure it's within your budget. I do not recommend you buy any phone on loan, so make sure you can pay it all off as soon as possible so you don't start getting charged interest on just having a phone. And if you like this video and you would like to see a little more coverage about the iPhone 13 Pro Max, here is a video showing all of my favorite accessories for my favorite phone, and you can find it by clicking right here. Click, 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 click. Thanks for watching.